Let's say you find a GPS tracker on your car. Can you just throw it away? A woman in Louisiana found a tracker on her car. She didn't put it there, so she stuck it on a pole near a park. Should she get in trouble for that? I review cases from the past 20 years to find important answers to questions that you probably have, such as, what if the police put it there? Is throwing it away some sort of crime? Could I be charged with obstruction of justice? We don't even need the tinfoil hat today because these are real issues facing normal people just like me and you, even people who are not themselves accused of a crime. You could be the next person being tracked. So what do you do if you find a GPS tracker on your car? First, let's talk about if it's even legal for the police to use these GPS trackers. For a time, the police could run around like it was the Wild West, and they frankly could put a GPS tracker on people's car with no court approval, no search warrant, and just slap it on any car that they thought they wanted to track. There was really no clear rule or guidance from the Supreme Court on this, and so the police did mostly what they wanted. That's never a good situation for you and me. But in 2012, the Supreme Court took a side in the case of United States versus Jones. In that case, the police attached a GPS tracker to Mr. Jones's Jeep and tracked him for a month, all without a search warrant and of course without Mr. Jones having any idea what's going on. The lawyers for Mr. Jones argued that the police attaching an actual tracker to your vehicle does constitute a search under the Fourth Amendment, and therefore a search warrant would need to be required. The government argued that there's no reasonable expectation of privacy when you're driving around on public roads where you could be observed in the public, and therefore that does not implicate the Fourth Amendment for the police to attach a tracker to your car. But the Supreme Court ruled in favor of Mr. Jones and ruled that it is a search under the meaning of the Fourth Amendment if the police physically attach a GPS tracker to your vehicle. The Supreme Court went further to say the evidence should be suppressed in Mr. Jones's case because the police did not obtain a search warrant prior to attaching the tracker. Win for the little guys. The Court of Appeals for the Third and Fourth Circuits have applied the Jones case in important cases of their own since then, and they have held in both of those cases that a search warrant is required for the police to use a GPS tracker to track your vehicle's location. Okay, so that means it's a little harder for the police to use a GPS tracker on your vehicle. But here in Virginia, the police can get a search warrant from a quasi-judicial officer known as a magistrate. These are people who don't even have to be lawyers. And frankly, I've seen magistrates issue search warrants faster than a Jehovah's Witness can pass out Bibles, faster than McDonald's can make a hamburger, and even faster than Domino's can deliver your pizza. Although that might not be very fast sometimes. So I'm not really sure that requiring a search warrant gives you and me any more protection than we had before United States versus Jones. Which brings us to Yasir Afifi, a Redditor who found a mysterious device underneath his car. Back in 2010, Mr. Afifi's friend posted this picture on Reddit. Me and my friend went to the mechanic today and we found this on his car. I'm pretty confident it is a tracking device by the FBI, but my friend's roommates think it is a bomb. Any thoughts? The Redditors get to Redditing and figure out what the device was. It's a Guardian ST820. It's a GPS tracking unit made by the company Cobham. The product line is called Orion. A couple days later, Yasir finds out that it really is an FBI tracking device when they show up at his house asking for their toy back. And why is the FBI tracking Yasir to begin with? Because a friend of his posted a comment on Reddit about how easy it would be to blow up a mall. His friend may have been dumb, but Yasir is just a dude who has a friend who did something stupid online. Yasir fights back against this invasion of his privacy by suing the FBI and the DOJ. Unfortunately, the case goes nowhere because it later gets dismissed by the courts. And Yasir doesn't even get to keep the tracker as a souvenir. Maybe Yasir's mistake was that he went public about finding the device. Maybe he should have kept that part quiet. That's what Derek Huring does. In 2019, Derek finds an unmarked tracking device on his car. He removes the device, puts it in his house somewhere, and keeps quiet. But the police retaliate against him. They go to a judge and use the fact that the tracker went silent as probable cause that Derek must have stolen their device. So faster than Elon Musk can rocket a car into space, the judge issues a search warrant for Derek's home based on the probable cause that the tracker going silent means Derek must have stolen the tracker. During the raid, they do find their tracker plus meth. Look, I think doing drugs, making drugs, and/or selling drugs is a really bad plan. But If you find a GPS tracker on your car, it should be a hint to you that the police are onto you, and maybe you want to clean your house up just a little bit. Derek fights his case all the way to the Indiana Supreme Court, where the court rules that it is not theft for Derek to have removed the device from his own car. It's not even probable cause to believe that he stole the device, which means the search warrant was invalid to begin with. The court applies the exclusionary rule and suppresses all the evidence the police obtained from their illegally obtained search warrant. So what happened to that Louisiana woman who stuck the tracker to the pole near a park? Tiara Beverly knew about the tracker on her car because she watched the Louisiana State Police put it there. So she removed the tracker, stuck it to a pole, and called the nearby NAACP for help. And according to this news report, the Louisiana State Police asked for the tracker back, and that was basically the end of the situation. So what should you do if you ever find a GPS tracker on your vehicle? I sadly think that your rights against a GPS tracking device may depend upon your state's laws. But as for me, if I find one on my car here in Virginia, it may just happen to fall off a bridge while I drive over it. Or maybe I'll have to get out my beating hammer. For more about protecting your privacy from the police, check out this next video. And remember, don't talk to the police, especially through their tracking devices.